Guys, have you seen the latest pricing at your local RAN?
Yes, I have.
It's almost ridiculous how much the prices have increased. Like 20 to 30% or more.
I think it was average like 20 cents. Chad Moran put together a spreadsheet. It was like 20 cents on average or something ridiculous.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, what is Rivian doing there is my question. I mean, I feel like if they want utilization, they need to be competitive, but a lot of their sites are at or near Tesla superchargers, which are just as fast, just as reliable. So, but it looks like RAN pricing is going to be higher in almost all cases. So I don't know. It's an interesting move.
I have a theory. I have a theory. So
Let's hear it.
I haven't double checked it, so the people in the comments can, tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. But RAN is CCS only right now. So and they just opened the network up in certain locations.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's some correlation to the open network stations and the increases in terms of like the ones that aren't open, maybe they're at a lower increase compared to the others, and maybe the others where they know that they come in cheaper than say EVgo, they come in cheaper than EA and more reliable than EA. Maybe they can just by a smidgen outprice them, and then they don't have to even because these people that are probably charging on EA might not even have supercharger access. I don't know.
So I think I made this joke to you guys. Chipley, Florida, which only like the residents of Chipley and anybody that happens to drive down I-10 west of Tallahassee has ever heard of, is the charging capital of Florida at this point. There's a Tesla supercharger, the RAN, and Electrify America, and EV Connect, if I'm not mistaken, all within like a football throw of each other
Okay.
on either side of whatever that road is. Um, so that's where our second RAN is, for those that aren't aware, in the Panhandle, and it's 50 cents a kilowatt for Rivian, and it's a version 1.5, so it's open to all EVs. That RAN is. Um, it's 50 cents per kilowatt for Rivian owners and 59 cents for non-Rivian owners, which um, I believe is even more expensive than the Electrify America that's across the street.
Okay, then my theory's busted.
I think I'm gonna pull it up here in a second just to verify.
I
But
kind of think they might be competing with. They've given up on Tesla, competing with Tesla. They're just going for the table scraps at this point, and they just have to be cheaper than the other CCS. But if they're not, then they're not. And then it's
I,
just a strategy.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look here in Texas right now too. So it'll take me a minute, but I'm really curious to see because Electrify America drastically raised prices not too long ago as well. Um, so let me look, but I can tell you also, I have primarily, when I've been road tripping, just been using Tesla superchargers because those have been less than Electrify America and they're way more plentiful and way better. So,
Especially if you have the membership, right? So the 12.99 per month membership takes what 10, 11 cents off per kilowatt hour, and so in
yeah,
general, you will get a better value. It only takes roughly, well, assuming you have a 100 to 130 kilowatt hour battery pack,
right.
it only takes, one and a half, maybe two stops for sure, right? If you supercharge twice and do 60% or 70%, then you're most likely recouping that 12.99. So like if you're going on a road trip and you have two stops going out, two stops back going back, you're easily saving, half, whatever you're saving probably about 12 or $15. Um, so it's
Right.
worth it.
Yeah, so that the Chipley superchargers with the Tesla membership is 36 cents a kilowatt hour. 47 without. So there's your 11 cents, as you mentioned. Rivian at that location is, as I said, 50 for members. 50 for members, or 50 for Rivian owners, 59 for anyone else. And the Electrify America, that is right across the street. Of course, I already had this set up, and then it's like I hadn't used Electrify America in months, and I just did it like 10 minutes ago. It kicked me out, so now I got to log in. Sorry. And I guess my password has changed, so even better. I love it.
EA's usually has a membership fee too, but their membership is what, like $1 or $2, something crazy.
As little as $1 and as much as $7, I think, or maybe that's electric, or maybe that's EV Go. That's that cheap. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Just using PlugShare. But yeah, it's should be right there. Oh.
You guys both are in a race towards getting that answer.
Well, so okay, so I will say this. I was just looking in the Dallas area, and the RAN up there is 51 cents per kilowatt hour, and Electrify America is 56 cents per kilowatt hour. So RAN does come in a little bit cheaper than Electrify America.
And EA's already poisoned their brand, right? So like if you see an EA and a RAN next to each other, you're gonna be like, I'm going with anybody but EA, right? Even if I don't know what Rivian is,
Right.
It's CCS, I'm plugging in there.
Yep. No, that's very true. I mean, because
think about all the VW owners, the Bolts and the Bolts owners. I guess Bolts can charge on Tesla, but they don't. I don't think they definitely didn't get an adapter for free. So those.
But I've seen them.
Yeah, but you can't get an adapter and use it. But I don't think they actually would be like. Majority of those owners probably don't have a supercharger adapter and would prefer to find a CCS location. So I think Rivian's trying to just get the table scraps from Tesla and steal everyone from EA and EVgo and all the other CCS providers.
Yeah, I mean, I think this would be a smart move for Rivian if they didn't put a RAN in the same parking lot as every other Tesla supercharger, but because they chose to go that route, whether it was out of ease because of permitting or ease because of the owners of that particular parking lot said, sure, come on over. But because literally every single RAN that I'm aware of up to this point is literally in a parking lot with a Tesla supercharger or in an adjacent one. Like I'm 100% charging a Tesla. Like there was 6 of us this past weekend from Friday to Monday. Did roughly 350 miles of this really cool 1,200-mile trail called the Florida Adventure Trail that took us out to the west coast, like Big Bend of Florida, Steenhatchee, Crystal River, Cedar Key, in that area of the Gulf of America. And there's Tesla superchargers there. And we rolled 6 deep into these Tesla superchargers, only blocking one spot, even though we took up 6. We did our best to be as courteous as possible, charge for as long as we needed to get what we needed, but as short as we could to get out of there. But it was great to see the look on people's faces when Tesla owners pulled up and they saw 6 Rivians all parked next to each other charging. Yeah, it was a good time. But Tesla superchargers for the win. I mean, they're just they're in random places as well, which is great. They're not just on 95 I-10, the big thoroughfares. They're in small America.
Yeah. So
And pro tip for Rivian owners that use the Rivian app and trip planning to look for chargers and or to plan your route, make sure, because I think it is hidden by default, or there's a click box for adapter needed under the hide section. And if you leave that adapter needed turned on under hide, it will not come up with all the Tesla superchargers that you can use. If you have an adapter, and if you don't have an adapter, you should get one, but we can talk about that in a completely separate subject or recording, because that in and of itself, I think NACs and adapters is kind of an interesting topic.
it's also worth mentioning is that Rivian recently switched to not including the adapter with a new vehicle purchase. And so new customers potentially don't have the adapter, and they will be forced to either buy the adapter or charge on CCS, which is where Rivian will swoop in and say, I will save you 3 cents over 4 cents over EA if you charge on the RAN. And again, picking up the table scraps from Tesla for the people that can't charge on the supercharger network.
Yep. And one of the things that I was just looking at with regards to Tesla pricing, supercharger pricing in the Dallas area, is a lot of that is rate based on time of day. So kind of like a time of use rate. And all of them, even the highest, even the peak rate, was cheaper than Rivian and Electrify America. So, and sometimes like half the price, like a low price of 24 cents per kilowatt hour.
Wow.
And on the high end, it was like 46 or 48 cents for like the most expensive peak rate that I found in clicking through several of them just a second ago.
Yeah, another one of the interesting points, talking or just reading some comments, even while I was on that trip at night, once we got into our campground, the campground we were staying in, like reading comments from Ben Williams, whom Skylar, you and I at least know from RS. He's out in Reno. Nevada's power, like they're pennies per kilowatt hour. Like their charge rates for like residential energy are, I think, like 3 or 4 cents per kilowatt hour, like their base rate. It's stupid low. And they're in Truckee, or the RAN right across the state line in Truckee is like 68 cents a kilowatt hour. And I think the one in, I think it's Las Vegas, is just as expensive.
Yeah, and Jimmy, that is something that I've had a little bit of experience with, is that residential and commercial rate plans can be night and day different. And
sure.
And fast chargers that can have a very large maximum feed will pay much higher prices than residential rates. So, I mean, that could have a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Topic,
It's just insane.
Another topic regarding this, like if you look in the charging section or the pricing section in the mobile app, it doesn't actually, none of the chargers seem to have a time of day like Tesla does. So maybe they at some point will implement a time of day charging scheme for RAN, and potentially maybe, like, let's say it's 50 cents or 50 something cents a kilowatt hour currently. Maybe they do have an off-peak charging price that is lower, and the 50 some cents is just the average across the spectrum of the different times that they vary their prices. And so I would expect peak pricing to be higher, and then you have the off peak at, maybe it goes back to 30 or 40 cents or something. But I think
And
that's probably the next phase coming. But right now it's just flat.
I'm curious if any of the viewers know and can comment. Does Tesla do that because of just supply and demand congestion, trying to relieve congestion a little bit? Or is it an electric rate issue? I'm curious. I do not know.
I think it's probably a mix of both. If I were to guess, it's a mix of both, because some locales have different rates based on time of day from the utility provider. And then I've supercharged a lot through my EV journey, and I know a lot of EV owners are apartment people or people without home charging, and they will just, if there's no time of day, they will just charge whenever they feel like it. It could be peak time. And those are the ones that they don't go there for the 20% to pick up or 30% to pick up, whatever a quick stop is. They are there to charge for the week, right? So they're charging to damn near 100 sometimes. Look at Bolt owners and
Yes.
ID4 owners, right? They're there to charge for the week, and then they go out and they charge to 100, and they'll watch a whole movie charging to 100, and then they'll go run and do their life for however many days they can get, and then they come back and do the same thing again, and they'll do it peak time after time, unless there's a time of day. And so I don't know. I think it's probably a combination of both, but maybe someone knows more than I do.
Yeah, the other thing that I will bring up that's phenomenal about us being able to charge on the supercharger network, the Rivian Adventure network, and it's a little bit more work to be able to do it on EVgo, but plug and charge is amazing. And I feel like all charging providers could or should get there at some point in time. But I've had so many issues on Electrify America, for instance, getting charges started, and whether it's issues with the app, issues with the machine, or heaven forbid, try to pay with a card. Like, anyway, plug and charge is the way to go.
I think I have like 5 or 6 apps on my phone. Like, I'm tired of the stupid apps and like having to fire them up every time I get to some random charger. I wish I could just plug in and charge everywhere, and let Rivian figure all that crap out. Like, I literally just plug it in, and Rivian, you do your magic thing and charge my card on file, and that would be awesome. But instead, I'm in app hell.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Those are rookie numbers, man. You got to bump those stats up. I think I've got like 12. A lot have been auto like deleted from my phone because I haven't used them in a while. But for my drive out to Moab back in 2022, I had Francis Energy. There was 1 or 2 others in out west that hopefully I'll never have to use now that I can use the supercharger network. But yeah, man, dude, there's so many out there, and more are coming online. I feel like every quarter there's a new company that is here now, like BP Pulse. We've got a BP Pulse. I think the first one in the nation is here in Jacksonville. So that's one more app that I need to have if I'm in a pickle and need a charge.
You can list them out. EVgo, EA, Rivian, Tesla.
You ready?
ChargePoint, Blink, Francis.
FPL
Yeah.
Evolution. You already said that. There's Shell Recharge, EV Connect,
Yes.
Charge, Circle K, Volta, Charge Up, BP Pulse, Pilot, US Supercharge is South Florida, and then Stay in Charge is some level 2s that I've come across at hotels.
Jeez, you have to reduce your meme collection to fit all those apps on there.
Yeah,
that is a bunch, Jimmy.
Yeah, you gotta pump up them numbers, man. Them are some rookie numbers, bro.
Well, I really only need Tesla. I really need Tesla and Ran, and
No doubt.
every once in a while, E-Air EVgo. Those are the ones that.
Yeah,
really,
and that's why I have 69,514 miles on my truck already in less than 3 years.
So Jimmy, the other thing, just because you mentioned it, one of the last road trips I made was up to Oklahoma, and up in Oklahoma, off the major interstates, is Francis Energy, and I have heard so many nightmares, but they're getting better. So
All right.
I actually had a fairly user friendly experience using Francis Energy. So who knows?
So is it better? Is it better in this way? When we left your house there mid October of 2022, we shot straight up through Wichita Falls, got into Oklahoma, and had to charge at Francis Energy. It was a 100 and something kilowatt, almost 200 kilowatt unit that was pushing out max 50 kilowatt. Customer service basically was like, "That's what you get." But you had to preload your account.
No more preload.
Oh, I hate those.
No more
And
preload. So they fixed that.
The minimum rate that you could add was $20. So, and I thought I still had Francis on my phone. I did mention it, so I don't. But yeah, so there's like $15 because we just got tired and we literally charged just enough to get to 40, where there was an Electrify America there, and I think it's straight up from there is Lawton, from where we were, and we were able to charge at the Electrify America. But yeah, so there's $15 on a Francis Energy account somewhere. So if anybody needs it, let me know. I'll try to find the password and charges on me.
You like the old gas thing, right? Where you don't try. I got to hit it right at $10 or right at $15.
Oh yeah,
On the
yeah.
On the penny.
It was so bad. Like it kept kicking us out, and then it hit 50, and then it would charge for like another 5 minutes, and it would dump us. And I think too there was like a start fee too, so it wasn't like, there's like that dollar like start to like
session fee. Yeah, something like that. I hate those. Yeah. All right. Well, even if RAN is more expensive, it's better than that.
Correct. 100%. I
am talking too long because we need to jump on the live stream.
We do, but it's one of those things where, like, obviously we all want Rivian to succeed. We all want Rivian to make money too. But you can't make it so expensive that because you'll just force people to go somewhere else. I know I will. Like
if it's more expensive where there are Tesla superchargers in proximity, that's a mistake.
Yeah. And guess what? They're almost at every single RAN. I guarantee if we sat down and went through the 104 or whatever RANs we're up to now, every single RAN has a Tesla supercharger. Maybe not actually. The one in normal.
No.
There's not a Tesla supercharger at the RAN in normal, but there's one nearby. I guarantee it's within 5 miles.
Yeah. It's the RANs and the Schnucks and the Tesla superchargers in a Meyer, I believe.
Yeah. So it's a few miles away.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, I'm trying to keep us on track. Are we gonna go talk to the people?
We're gonna go talk to the people. Thanks for hanging out with us and talking RAN charging though. That was fun, or RAN pricing. Till next week.
Adapters. See ya.